So white people will never leave black people alone, and I'm gonna tell you why. White society's obsession with black people isn't new, it's centuries old. If you think about slavery, colonialism, and exploitation, from the start, white wealth in America was built off the backs of black bodies. Sugar, cotton, tobacco, rice. This wasn't just economics, it was a system where white people's very identity was shaped around controlling and owning and watching black bodies. But here's the wild contradiction in all of this, right? While trying to dehumanize us, white culture has always been obsessed with us, right? They copied our music, our style, our language, our food, even our rhythm, all while denying us basic rights. Think about jazz and rock and hip hop and fashion, all born out of black genius, only to be taken, watered down, and sold back to the world with a white face on it. So why can't they just stay away? Because in a system that is built both on exploitation and envy, distance is impossible. White supremacy depends on keeping black people in place, close enough to use, control, or imitate, but never free enough to threaten the hierarchy. It's a sick paradox, fear and fascination at the same damn time. On a psychological level, it's projection. White folks will project their guilt, their fear, and their insecurities onto blackness, and then turn around and crave the very life, culture, and resilience they try to destroy. It's like they want the sauce, but not the struggle. Now, to be real, not every white person acts like this, but the system, the way whiteness has defined itself against blackness, makes it so this obsession keeps resurfacing. Whether it's over policing or culture appropriation or trying to legislate our lives, it always comes back to the old need to dominate mixed with a quiet desire to be what they can't.
Hi everyone, thank you and welcome to my channel. I would like to say a very big thank you to everyone that has been supporting this channel, giving me gift, supporting, commenting and subscribing. Thank you very much. And of course, someone gave me a gift and I want to say thank you for that gift. This is to show that I am grateful for all the things you guys, for all the love you guys are showing me. Today I've compiled a couple of videos for you to watch about black communities, the struggles they have growing up as black in America. And I have a very interesting story that you need to watch, because the lady was saying that when growing up it was extremely so difficult that you had to lie. She had to lie because she's biracial, her mom is black and dad is white, and it looks like if she tell them that her mom is black, it's not a problem. And that story actually touched my heart. I want you guys to listen to it so that you can come back and talk about this, share your experience, what you experience in America as black, and or maybe your parents are mixed, whatever it is. And I'll come back and we'll discuss about the credits I given to our content of this video, especially those ones that share their story with us. We are grateful. Don't go nowhere, I'll be right back.
Since we're on the topic of race, I think that this is a great story time opportunity to talk about my upbringing. I have a black mother and a white father. Growing up, I didn't know that I was different, but I knew that something was supposed to be a secret. Trigger warning, this is about racial passing and my experience growing up in my hometown back in the day. We moved from another state, and my grandma, who's white, she kept telling me, you can't go around telling people that your mom is black. You have to tell them that that's the nanny. When you go to school, like, don't mention your mom. It's like, why? I remember asking her why. And she was like, because it's gonna be harder for you. They're gonna treat you differently. They're gonna put you in stupid classes and all this stuff that she was telling me. But I knew for my grandmother, it was more of a social aspect. She didn't want people knowing that her grandchildren were like half black. In this elementary school I went to, I noticed that double fountains, not just like a small one and a big one, but it was like a small one and a big one and then another small one and a big one next to them. And it was always near the bathrooms. And I always questioned, why is there two girls' bathrooms like so close to each other and two boys' bathrooms so close to each other. I didn't know that my school was at one point a segregated school. Two black people in my whole school. Everyone else was white. My hair would curl because of the humidity, and my grandma wanted to erase the black. She wanted to erase the black. Back in the day, there was something called Japanese perms, a relaxer, and I would just remember my scalp burning in the shower. Other things that she would do, she would like, when you go to like the beauty supply store and you see like those like special soaps, she would put all those soaps on me and tell me like stay in the shade, squeeze my nose, thinking that it'll make it smaller. Starts questioning you, just say that you're Italian. And it's just crazy. So there was this black boy named Jeremy that like joined our class like mid-year. When I tell you, that's when I learned that they'll treat you differently. Jeremy wasn't allowed to go on the blacktop. Jeremy had to stay inside. Jeremy, obviously like schools have like funding for like kids that can't go to like certain like field trips. They'll leave Jeremy behind. The kids will call Jeremy and like the teachers would just like laugh about it. And I always felt like Jeremy knew that I was part black, but he didn't like know. Like he like felt it but didn't know. That's when I noticed like, oh shit, if I tell someone I'm black, like I'm gonna be treated like Jeremy. So I just didn't tell anyone. It wasn't like I was ashamed or something, but I was taught like this was something bad. There would be like parent-teacher conference, and my grandmother would show up in replacing my mom. My mom's very submissive, very sweet woman. Oh, you can't show up. You're gonna ruin this family. You're gonna ruin her opportunities if you tell people. I'm not one of those like self-hating. I'm not here like, oh, don't look at my mom. Like none of that. Like me and my mom were really cool. Like we really chill. She was just here like yesterday. But my grandma, trials and tribulations. So my mom one day randomly decided to show up to the elementary school, and it was my birthday. When people saw my mom, they thought it was the nanny. I guess I slipped and said mom. This girl, I forgot what her name was, like Crystal or whatever. She was like, and I was like, no, I'm not. So this Crystal girl went around, told everybody that I'm actually like black and making fun of me. They said, oh, that's why your hair looks like it's electrocuted. Like my teachers started asking me, they're like, are you? I was like, no, that's my nanny. That's not my mom. And I remember going home and I asked my mom, I was like, why can't I tell people you're my mom? And she was like, it's just for your own good. The moral of this story with the elementary school is that if I ended up telling people that I was black, I would have been in like these horrible classes. I wouldn't have been taught properly. I wouldn't have gotten like the new textbooks. They gave the black kids the old ass textbooks and had them in a different class. Like they would come for certain classes, but not all the classes. And you could just tell that they were like a little behind with school. And then I knew that, yeah, I was getting like good education, but I always like, it was nothing that I was like, oh, I'm ashamed of being this. It was like, why do I have to keep this secret? And nobody looked like me. And I was just so confused as a kid. But then when I got to high school, that's when I started noticing that people say some wild ass shit. I went to high school, people started calling people hard ERs, there's more black people, and nobody knew. And then I think it was my junior year, I just like told everyone, I'm like, you guys know I'm half black, right? Nobody believed me. This is my mom, showing them pictures, showing them my cousins and all this stuff. I like finally, like I used to like relax my hair like all the time. And then I finally like let my hair grow. I just like lived in my truth, and yeah, they treated me a little differently after that. But I felt so happy to just like not live with this weird secret. But then now I understand why my mom, well, it wasn't really my mom, it was my grandma. It was not like the imitation of art where I was trying to disown my mother and live my life as a white woman. That was not the case. I I don't know, like as an adult looking back at it, I can imagine how confused I was as a child. I never like I said, hated my mom or felt like I was ashamed of being Black. I just knew that I saw that if I told people, I would be treated differently. And so that's where the whole like light skin privilege and all this stuff and this whole biracial talk that's going on TikTok is like trending, because they're like, you don't know what it's like. And yeah, like I don't know what it's like, but I saw, and I also had a Black mom, and I saw her experiences, and I saw how like my father's family treated her. And to this day, I don't really like fuck with them like that.
So one thing that gets really hard about being a Black person in America is like constantly finding out that people just hate you and you don't know why. Like you're never really given a reason. You're just like, hey, this person hates Black people. Recently, Hulk Hogan died. And I'm like, oh, well, that sucks. And then, of course, all this stuff comes out about how racist he was. It's like, oh, okay. I remember Dr. Seuss died, and I was like, oh, that sucks. I was a huge Dr. Seuss fan. Dr. Seuss truly, truly inspired me. And then I found out he died, and that really sucked. And this one actually hurt my feelings, but Dr. Seuss was extremely racist. And then you watch Taken, and I like Liam Neeson, and then you see a video of him saying some really racist stuff. You know, then a Republican president gets elected, and you're like, hey, this Republican president is actually really, really racist. And I'm like, oh, well, that sucks. Well, I hope we get a Democratic president. And then we get a Democratic president, and they're like, oh, well, this guy's also really, really racist. And then, like, growing up as a Black person, you live your life wondering, like, why do y'all hate us so much? Like, what did we do? Like, what is it about Black people as a whole that you just hate? Like, I don't get it. Like, off the top of my head, I could name 100 different racist things that white people have done to me specifically and to my family. And I don't hate white people. I was involved with this white girl when I was in college, and things were great. And then she started crying and telling me that we had to end this thing because if her stepfather found out that she was involved with a Black dude, that he would disown her. Like, his hate for Black people was so strong that he would disown his own daughter just for dating one. And I don't have the capacity to hate white people. I don't have the capacity to hate anybody. But growing up Black is just a lifelong journey of finding out that everything is racist and that everybody just hates Black people, and you just can't figure out why.
Why do white people resent Black excellence? Let's talk about it. Not all white people are racist, obviously, but there is a specific subset for whom Black excellence seems like a personal affront to them, right? It really bothers them when Black people succeed. The 13th Amendment emancipated enslaved Black Americans in 1865, and then the Jim Crow laws kind of wrapped up with the passing of the Civil Rights Act in 1964. So if we do the math, that's about 61 years in which Black Americans were able to strive for success in any sort of meaningful way without like the constraints of the law pulling them down. 61 years. If we compare that to white Americans who besieged a land already owned and occupied by indigenous Americans, we'll put that around 1620 when, the Mayflower came here, then that gives them about 425 years to establish success in this country. 425 versus 61. If we compare those two fundamentally very different time spans, like, how much did white Americans actually do in all of that time? If we were to compare even the poorest and most underprivileged of white America to Black America generally, it is clear that white Americans are born way past the start line, right? By that I mean, by like nature of being white in American society, you do benefit from all sorts of privileges. And like, to be frank, you're not exhausted by the horrible experience of facing racism on a daily basis, right? You do have a ton of privileges. So I imagine existing in this bubble of privilege that you like totally deny, the existence of Black people for whom success is like second nature when it comes so easily and so readily, even though you've only had 61 years to achieve it. I imagine that's exhausting and frustrating. I imagine it makes people feel super, super inferior and hurts certain people's tiny, tiny little egos. And what do they blame that deep, deep psychic pain on? Well, of course, DEI and critical race theory and affirmative action. So I guess the question is, what might help those white Americans who just so strongly detest Black excellence? Like, what will help you? And for that, I would suggest like a lot of therapy, like a ton of therapy. And I would also just suggest that we open the schools, right? We teach people history. Yeah, maybe? Okay, bye.
When y'all try to compare the struggles and experiences of other people of color to the struggles and experiences of Black folk, y'all like to forget one critical detail, and that is that everybody hates Black people. And I'm not saying this to be victim-y here, but the truth is almost every culture has some component of either anti-Blackness or at least colorism, which is discrimination against dark-skinned people. So when people say, oh, I'm insert race or ethnicity here and I don't feel this way, Black people are being dramatic. No, Black people have a different experience from you, especially if they're darker skinned, because everybody's got beef with us. It might seem like we're sensitive or nitpicky, but that's because so many key parts of life are built on a foundation of anti-Blackness and colorism, which means that, yeah, there's an issue in a lot of the things we do in a day. And when someone points that out, it's not because they love being the victim. I know I personally would much rather live a life where this doesn't impact me on a day-to-day basis, but it does. And if you are exhausted of hearing us all the time, imagine how we feel.
This is what it means to grow up in America as a Black. People say there's no big deal. Everyone is okay. Everyone is fine. If you're privileged, maybe your parents kind of forced some things and they took you to a level whereby the level of discrimination is not that much. But someone said no matter what, no matter how rich your parent is, once you are Black, that there are some areas you can't escape. There's some areas you can't escape. There's some, So the person was saying that no matter what, growing up as a Black comes with challenge and difficulties. And then I want to agree because I haven't watched this video and I've seen the experiences of people and what they've gone through. And I can't but say that it is there, it is true. People are going through all of that. And I want to just also share with me what your experience is like. What is it like for you growing up? I mean, and the challenges you face before you get a job, before you finish your school, even at the elementary level. I mean, the lady was talking about the elementary level and what she went through, and that even the school you get as a Black, it's not the same thing. Guys, let me know if this is true and if you actually experienced this. And she was like, she had to, when she got to university, that's when she started saying it the way, then a level of confidence, a level of boldness has come. And she was like, well, she doesn't really care. And she began to say, yes, my mom is Black, my dad is white. So, and she said the treatment actually dropped, and it goes to show that as a Black person, the challenge is real and we can't downplay it. People go through a lot. Even in this 21st century, it's still happening. A lot of things are happening to people. People have their struggle to get a job. The way you're treated as a Black person, when you do some things, the same thing that palm color people do, the way you be addressed is different. And of course, what the Lord says about the Black people, those are the struggle that people go through, and this is real. And let's not do as if it's not real and do it. No. And of course, this present administration is not even helping matter too, because some of the things that have faded away in the time of Biden administration and Obama's administration, now they have the boldness and infantry to come out and challenge people, knowing fully well that the administration has a body language that supports them. So these are the things that I want you guys to discuss with me. If you have such experience, let us begin the conversation, because this channel is actually for speaking up for everybody, especially the Black people. Whatever your experience is, whatever you're going through, I mean, let's talk about it, let's discuss it. I mean, unbiased, and of course with regards to rules and regulations, but speaking it the way it is. That is what this channel is for. And of course, I want to say thank you to everyone. People are speaking up, people are sharing their thoughts, their opinion. And I'm so grateful for that, So I want you guys to talk about this. Your experience is your experience. Don't be shy about it. Be bold about it. Let's talk about it, because what you're going through is your experience. And that is why you're peculiar and special, because your experience makes you to be like that. Because whatever you go through is peculiar to you. And nobody should downplay it. Nobody should make you feel like it doesn't really matter. It matters, because that's your experience. And that's what we stand for in this channel. Let us know your experience and let's talk about it. Please bring the conversation on. Let the conversation begin at the comment section. Let's talk about all of this. And I want to say thank you to everyone once again for watching to this time. And I'm grateful for all your love, for all your care, for all the givings, for all Thank you for everything. And this channel has been growing tremendously because you are always there. Without you, I won't be here to churn out content. I'm doing this because you guys are there. You love it and you're showing me a lot of love. So I'm grateful as well. I'm very grateful. And I want you to keep up the fire, the momentum, and let this video go viral to the highest level. Like I said, your experience is your experience. As a black person, don't be shy. Discuss your experience, your opinion, and if you have any topic or any story you want me to talk about, talk to me in the comment section so that I can bring it just exactly the way you want it. Thank you. Until I come your way again, I always say stay in peace, stay in love, avoid trouble. Bye bye.